Okay, so first of all, I had to take the filters off my mic to pick up the amp, so hopefully it doesn't sound too weird. But I want to show you how to play the beginning of Before I Forget by Slipknot, the way I figured out how to do it. There's a palm mute in there. It's kind of subtle, but it's really important. It kind of keeps the bounce of the song, that bow, 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 bow thing. This, basically. That's the riff, and I'll bring the rest of it in to show you. And if you play those notes without it, it's basically just this. But there's just this constant bounce of your hand. Because you could do it this way, but it would be wrong. Which is technically the notes, you're just missing the bounce. So watch the difference here. That bouncy palm mute is what's making this riff happen. So basically just practice that little bouncy palm mute stuff. Because I think you could even notice the difference if you just hit notes as opposed to adding the bounciness. So once again, I'll play that and I'll bring the rest of it in. It's all about that palm mute. I'll try to do it a little bit slower if I can to help too. Hopefully that helps. But it really is all just about the bounce. And it took me a long time to figure out why I couldn't get it right and why it sounded so wrong to me, even though I was playing the right notes. If you're not doing that little stop with that palm mute, it doesn't give you the correct flow of the riff. Because it is really easy to look at the tab and think it's supposed to be played like this. Which it kind of is, but it's also kind of not. If that makes any sense, I hope so. So there's a lot going on, and it's mostly just not thinking about it. When you start thinking about that palm mute, that's when you're going to mess it up, because it's so subtle, but so important. But you just kind of got to let your hand bounce. I really hope this is making sense, because trying to communicate how to play something to someone else is one of the hardest things, because our brains just work differently. I gotta stop bumping this. When they were writing this riff, it probably made perfect sense. Like, oh, just play it like this, because that's just their style. But when you come along and you're trying to learn it, you're trying to learn a riff created by someone else that has a completely different method and style of playing than you. And to adapt that and to let it sink into your head sometimes takes a little bit of time. I'm not going to tell you how long it took me to realize how to play this, but it was a while. But I do hope this helps. I hope this helps someone, because that was the one thing that I never had explained to me. And even if you watch Jim Root play this, he doesn't really tell you that. He just like, oh, it's played like this. And you watch it and you're like, okay. And then you sit down to play it and you're like, I don't understand, you know? So it's that mute, that palm mute. That's what was never explained to me. And it was never explained to me without somebody playing, fingering the board. Once again, you're doing this. I really hope this helps you. And if it doesn't, I'm sorry. Because I don't know how else to explain it maybe just practice that bounce. Bounce, 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 bounce. Because without the bounce, you just get... See the difference? With bounce? Without the bounce. Bounce. Without bounce. Okay? That's really all it is. It's such a subtle thing. But that's really all I can show you with the limitations of where the camera is. I can't like put it above me or anything. I wish I could. But I do hope this helps someone out there that's trying to figure this out and just never had this explained to them. Because I wish I would have found something that explained that palm mute to me a long time ago. So maybe I can do this for you now. And if you did watch this video, thank you. It means a lot to me. And I really hope it helps you. And hey, maybe I'll see you around on the internet again someday. Later.